Thanks for coming. I was going to do a video about fasting a little bit, pick up some of the things that I forgot in the other videos, but I was interrupted by the universe. And I had an email today, and so I thought, well, okay, I'll get back to that later. Just to tell you that if you're diabetic and you're taking metformin, be very careful in taking the medication and fasting, because it may drive your blood sugar way down. So I wanted to cover that before I went on. Let me read you this letter, okay? I am in need of some urgent help. Me and my family are in danger. I really enjoy your videos and hope you can help me. Okay, well, that's very nice. Please tell me more about your karma cleansing service and rituals for healing and harassment from enemies. Okay. Something that's happening to you is due to your past karma. I will just say briefly that you are not your karma, but you are associated with your karma. That's a whole subject. We won't go into that now. But the answer to problems with karma is to make a deal with God. Okay. So you can remove curses and you can do all sorts of things if you know how. But one of the most effective ways to do with negative karma is to make a business deal with God. Okay, well, let's talk about that. What does it mean to do business with God? Well, it's not all that different from doing business from somebody that you know, okay? So if you want a car, you go to a car dealership and you talk to the dealer and you conduct business, okay? You talk about what you're going to get, how much it's going to cost, what the loan is, what the terms are. In the Christian community, doing business with God goes under the name of tithing. Now, why do I pick out Christian theology is doing business deal with God? Well, let's talk about results. If you do business with God, you should be better off than other people. Well, if you do any traveling around the world like I have, what you come to find out is the most prosperous countries with the highest per capita income is Europe and the United States and associated countries. And you might say, well, okay, well, they are more industrious, they are more this, they are more that. But I will tell you, it's due to their recognition of God in their life. Okay, if you go to Europe or almost any city in the United States, you go to the streets, and there are street signs. Now I've been to India, there are no street signs. Okay? You go to Africa, there's no street signs. It costs a lot of money to put street signs up. Okay? Sidewalks, skyscrapers, those are all signs of prosperity. And they are in Christian countries by and large. Now, countries like India used to be very wealthy, but their spiritual practices have fallen on hard times, and so has their country. They now believe in socialism, and it hasn't got them very far, but they haven't figured that out. Sometimes it takes a while. Okay. So one of the things I did today, in thinking about giving this talk, see, when I think of something, sometimes it doesn't take me very long to do it. And sometimes that's mostly good, but sometimes it's bad. But here's a good thing that happened. Okay. I went and looked to Twitter. I went to Twitter and I put in as a search 2 words: business and God. I printed out just 4 pages, but let me read you some of the names that came up on Twitter. The very first one was the Wall Street Journal. The second one was Richard Branson. Bill Gates was third. Donald Trump. Fox Business. Spiritual Truths. Business for God. Jesus Saves. Well, here's one. Tim Ferriss, author of 3 #1 New York Times, Wall Street Journal bestsellers. The 4-Hour Workweek, Body Chef. Here's a guy from India, for sure. Anand Mahindra, Chairman and Managing Director, Mahindra Group. Okay. Melinda Emerson, Small Biz Lady. Okay. UK Business Labs. God's Daughters. God Bless. God in Business. Gotta go see what they're all about. Okay. Entrepreneur B+P. Business for God. Entrepreneurs, God's Way. Business for God. Tech News, Business Science. Are you starting to get the drift of this? Oh, by the way, Glenn Beck was on this. And when I read his saying, and it said, God has 2 things. 1, do it. 2, don't do it. And so what your job is to figure out which of the 2 you're supposed to do when you come upon things. And so this is the secret of Glenn Beck not being kicked out of society or the headlines of society. He's managed to come back somehow. And I think it's through this connection. Okay, so how do you do business with God? Okay, well, again, look at a business transaction. Okay, so if you go to a hamburger stand, and you pay your money at the hamburger stand. You get your hamburger after you pay your money. If you go to a restaurant, they sit you down, they give you your meal, and then they present you with the bill. What's different about those two business deals? Well, the people on the stand have learned that if they give you the hot dog in your hand, you can walk away with the hot dog without paying for it. Okay, well, so what does this have to do with bad karma and God and all the other stuff? I'll get to it in just a second. It's much easier to leave the hot dog stand than it is the restaurant. Now, well, God doesn't care what business deal you make with Him. But as a person, you're probably going to have, if you're in trouble, you're going to have to do the hot dog stand route. Because the karma you're experiencing in some way is very similar to running away with the hot dog from the hot dog stand. So now God is going to put you to the test. Now, if you somehow change your behavior and you want to do business in order to get something and you're not in trouble, then the restaurant style applies. You can ask God for things. He'll provide the goods or services and then charge you. So there's a little bit difference in the way. God will work it any way you want. But if you're in trouble, what you have to do is you have to use the hot dog method. Okay, so if you want a hot dog, you have to go to somebody that's making hot dogs. If you want to do a business deal with God, and you're in a hurry, okay, then you go to somebody who runs a God stand. Okay. Now you got to understand when we're talking about time, we may actually be talking about many lifetimes. Because the karma that you do now, some of it's slow, some of it's fast. Some of it's so slow, it'll go many lifetimes. Okay, and so if the karma is big and you didn't do anything to start this whole thing, past karma from a long time ago. Okay, so what does it mean then to go to a spiritual person to help you with a problem right now? You're going to have to pay in some way. Now wait a minute. God's not supposed to charge you anything, is He? I mean, the Catholic Church sold indulgences in the 14th century. These were sort of like the Monopoly game, the get out of free card. That was the indulgences. Okay. They work. Somebody with spiritual energy prays along with you, for you, with you, tells you to make a prayer, they also add their prayer. God listens to that. That's the whole basis of the Catholic Church. I don't know God. I don't have any connection with Him. But the priest over in the church does. He talks to him daily and gets answers. So what I will do is I will go give money to the church. I will even give money on a continuing basis. That's called a tithe. A tithe means a tenth. And the Jews did it. And the Jews is another culture that always seems to land on their feet, no matter what problems they cause for themselves through their past karma. Okay. But then the question is, what do you give? If you want money, you give money. If you want to have more time with your kids, donate some of your time to a church function. Okay. Then there's another aspect of this tithing part. Try, as people who are spiritual, try to be dispassionate about it. The people that donate money to the spiritual person get access to that spiritual person more than others. So if you want to get some spiritual service and you choose somebody, notice I say you choose. And you donate money, one of the things that you're always asking yourself, if you're a good business person, well, am I getting my money's worth? And if you don't feel you're getting your money's worth, you're going to complain. That's only human nature. And if you're getting your money's worth, and you see the opportunity to do better, you're going to donate more. This is what happens. So, you know, if you ever see The Godfather, the guy that's going to become Pope, here's the confession of the mobster, the Godfather. Okay? What does he say when he's listening to this all? He says, "Go on, my son." So, if he has to spend time with mobsters, do you think he's really that much wanting to do that? No. But it's his job. And see, this brings up the other point that most people don't think about. The person that you give money to as the representative or the time or whatever now has to respond to you. And so what happens when you're giving your money or your time is you're making a transfer of karma. That's how it works. It's an energy exchange. Now, when I first read Autobiography of a Yogi, one of the things that really impressed me about Sri Yukteswar is that he was independently wealthy. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to be a great spiritual teacher someday, and I'm going to be independently wealthy. But other karma interfered with that desire. And now the reason I'm making this video is because this guy talking about the karma and stuff, but what I've been thinking about is that the economic collapse is going to come next month. So I can't make enough money on the stock market to provide for people that come to me and need help of some way, even if I wanted to. So this video is to tell you how you can help yourself get a leg up, transfer your negative karma on. And I'm a reluctant receiver of that help. You know, people have given me money in the past, and I've done it because I've seen the growth that's come from it. But it has its own issues as well. And see, the thing is, what I learned from Catherine Ponder is that you have to donate to the place that gives you spiritual help. So I guess we're down to it now. It's because I want to help you if you want help. Quickly. See, we're not talking about months or years. Days or hours sometimes is what you need. Okay, well that's it for now. I'll get back to the fasting in a little bit. I'm fasting today. It's quite amazing the changes that are going on. Anyway, that's a whole other story, another time. I don't want to take your time unnecessarily. Okay, business deal with God. God will accept any business arrangement you want to make. Thank you.